conference series topic. Tonight's topic is hepatitis B. This is all part of the redoxdoc.com video conference series that you can subscribe to. So welcome today. Today I want to outline an important disease, hepatitis B, and the oxidative stress crisis that exists in our body when we have this problem and what we might be able to do about it to support our own health, in addition to the medical options that are available. So it's an important topic. The reason is that 1/3 of the world's population has hepatitis B. That's a lot of people. The majority of those cases are in East Asia and Sub-Saharan Africa. In fact, in that area, 10% of the adults have hepatitis B. It's a huge, huge disease burden. So hepatitis B is one of the 5 different kinds of hepatitis that we have. The more common kinds are hepatitis A, which is the kind of self-limited hepatitis that you might get from a restaurant or kids might get at school. Hepatitis C is another viral illness that is not as aggressive as hepatitis B, but also can lead to liver disease. So let's focus in on hepatitis B. It is the most deadly form, and this is a viral illness. In fact, this particular hepatitis B is 100 times more contagious than HIV. So a few little virus particles in the right place will get you infected unless you have immunity. The signs of hepatitis B are not real clear-cut, which is why it's good to get a blood test periodically if you've not been vaccinated. But the symptoms do include jaundice, fatigue, loss of appetite, nausea, fever, things of that nature. The diagnosis is established through blood testing. How is it transmitted? It is transmitted most commonly at birth, which is why vaccination is important and testing mothers who are pregnant. It has also been associated with IV drug use, so where there's sharing of needles. Sexual intercourse is a way to transmit it. You're at risk if you've received transfusion, have dialysis, live with an infected person, or travel to areas where it is endemic. But this disease is not transmitted by kissing, holding hands, the casual contact that we have with other human beings. The vaccine was first available in 1982, and it has been found to be 95% effective. So it really works, and it is extremely safe. The only known treatments for the disease, once you have it in your liver, is the use of interferon or tenofovir, which is another antiviral drug. If the hepatitis B virus is present long enough, it can progress to cirrhosis of the liver, which is a scarring formation. And this is deadly. You don't live long with cirrhosis. And oftentimes people need a liver transplant if they're eligible. So that's kind of the background on hepatitis B. Not a pretty picture. Now, where I take interest in hepatitis B is not so much in the traditional approach to hepatitis B and its treatment, but rather the impact that oxidative stress and the connections between the advancement of this disease, whether or not we have high levels of oxidative stress in our bodies or not. So there are things we can do for ourselves even if we have this condition. And I have been a personal witness as a physician to dramatic changes in people who have hepatitis B in one form or another, who have been able to minimize or reduce their oxidative stress in their body. So let me tell you about a study that was published in 2012 in the Annals of Laboratory Medicine. They took a group of over 100 people that had various conditions. 93 had inactive hepatitis B, 65 had the chronic progressive kind of hepatitis B, and 42 people were healthy in the study. And what they strive to do is look at these people and measure the total antioxidant status they had, their oxidative stress index, the levels of lipid peroxidation, and the catalase levels, which is an antioxidant level. And so as they analyze these blood parameters, they came to some amazing conclusions. And that was the people that had chronic progressive hepatitis B in that group had the most oxidative stress markers. And that was at a p-score of 0.001, which is very conclusive. So oxidative stress was directly associated with the hepatitis B activity. And so it was clear that when people had a better a level of what we would call their redox potential, they had less activity in their hepatitis B disease. So that would lead one to conclude, if we can do something to promote our redox potential and have less oxidative stress, we're going to have less activity in hepatitis B and other conditions that are like that. So what solutions, what can we do health endeavor-wise? The first and most important thing I would do is find a redox supplement. A redox supplement will reduce your oxidative stress. And how does that work? It improves the efficiency of our antioxidants. When we have an abundance of redox molecules through supplementation, we provide our antioxidant molecules with all the resources and tools they need to do the work of taking down toxins, to supporting the health and cleanliness of a cell, so that the liver cells, the ones that might be half healthy, can really thrive and function well and help the body stay in better balance, help fight this off, whether or not you're in treatment or not. The next thing we see happen is we see a better transcription of our genetic expression. So cells have a job to do, and cells actually transcribe and produce certain proteins that turn on or off our genetic potential. And so when we have an abundance of redox molecules, we efficiently transcribe the proteins that are going to assist our cells in maintaining the expression of our full genetic potential. The next thing is enhancing mitochondrial activity. So mitochondria love the presence of redox molecules, and when their job is to produce energy for a cell. And if there's an imbalance in redox chemistry and your redox potential drops, your mitochondria are not going to produce energy at the same efficiency. And that cell is going to be sluggish and not able to do its work. And it might end up dying or just sitting there looking very helpless. The next thing I would suggest to improve our outcomes is lifestyle choices. And those are things that are pretty common sense. We've got to make good decisions about how we live our lives. And lastly, I have a testimony to the effectiveness of the hepatitis B vaccine. I was one of the early people to receive it as a healthcare provider back in 1982 as a young resident. And we had frequent blood testing because it was an unknown entity. We didn't know how effective it would be. So every year we were getting tested again and again to see what our antiviral load was and whether we had enough immunity. And it became quite clear after 10 to 15 years that we had tremendous immunity. This thing was working great. We didn't need boosters. And so once you complete your hepatitis B vaccine series, you're good. You're going to be good for life unless you have a big exposure. And then you can get a booster. So clinically, I have been a witness to people who have hepatitis B that are in this chronic active or inactive cases where they have elevation in liver enzymes because the liver is under stress. That's kind of how you follow a hepatitis B case. And when people have supplemented their body with a redox supplement, I have personally witnessed their blood tests improve and improve and improve. And I have actually seen people convert from a positive test to a negative test. How the body figured this out, we don't really know. But I know with the help of reducing our oxidative stress, our body has an amazing capacity to heal. So, yep, you need medical help. If you've got hepatitis B, you need to consider treatment. You can also take responsibility for reducing your oxidative stress and make that treatment that much more effective. So we have options, and I think that is absolutely amazing. Our bodies are built to heal. Our responsibility as patients is to take really good care of ourselves. And as we do, medical therapies work that much better. So I hope that's been helpful in giving you a perspective of hepatitis B. and what we can do to improve our capacity to heal and to put ourselves in a position to be well. Thanks for your attention. We'll see you at the next